Alright, so by now I've almost watched all of 251. Um, I couldn't, I wasn't able to watch the main event or the co-main event. Unfortunately, I wanted to watch them, or maybe to some people I might be fortunate, but for me, it's unfortunate. I love watching fights, no matter how they go, because realistically, anything can change. So, um, but for like I said, for the Usman Masvidal fight and for the Volkanovski Holloway fight, I ended up watching breakdowns, um, fight breakdowns of them. Uh, yeah, Usman played. He played his game better than I thought he would. Actually, I thought Jorge was, even if he was going to back Jorge up, I thought once Jorge started attacking, that it would make Usman freeze. But from what I've watched, what I've seen from breakdowns, he he kept his range. He was definitely the longer fighter, or the longer. He was definitely the longer guy. Uh, in between those two, in between him and Masvidal, and he kept Masvidal guessing, as well as keeping him on the back foot, um, with faking the takedown, and Masvidal, hearing that he was doing so well defensively against Usman's wrestling and on the ground. Once Usman was able to take him down, I wasn't expecting that. So that just shows how good Masvidal's grappling defense is, which the Maya fight should definitely show that. Um, all in all, all in all, Usman is probably the worst matchup for a guy like Masvidal, or at least from before that fight, I would say he was the worst matchup for a guy like Masvidal. Um, and from what I've heard of that happened in that fight, it's hard to see Masvidal winning if he ever fights him again. I heard that Usman said he would rematch him again after he got a few fights, but it's a very tough stylistic matchup for Masvidal. I also heard Volkanovski Holloway was close. A lot of people think Holloway got robbed. Eh, I saw Weasel's breakdown of round three, and I I had to side by that because these fights, at the end of the day, they're scored round by round, and as far as the numbers, that him watching each strike, him detailing each strike, and you know the Im- the impact the impacts of the strikes. Uh, you know, at the end of that round, Volkanovski just in numbers edged him by two, but landed harder shots in that round anyway. Uh, I didn't get, that was a fight that was a fight I really wanted to see, and I didn't get to. But you know, Volkanovski's a hard matchup for Holloway. You know, regardless. So, uh, anyway, Jan Aldo. My prediction was off. Um, it was great to see Aldo come back with the leg kicks. It's been forever since he started since he started throwing leg kicks again. He just fell in love with his boxing. Ultimately, he tired himself out, and a guy as dangerous as Jan was able to snuff him out and get the finish in the 5th round. So, a good win for Jan. And for sure, I want to see him fight Aljamain Sterling next. That's the fight that has to be made for the bantamweight championship division, or for the bantamweight championship. Andrade Namajunas, I was basically right on that, but nobody expected Andrade to come out with their head movement and to be and to move like she was altogether. First and second round definitely went to Rose. 3rd round clearly went to Andrade. She hurt Rose bad, and it's a win that Namajunas needed, and now I want to see her fight the champ. Ribas and Van Zant, it went the way that the UFC expected it to. That's probably why they put her up against Amanda. To take some of her value away as she goes into the free market. Now, as far as the prelims, there was a lot of groin shots in the prelims and early prelims, but I didn't know anything about the guy that Oezdemir fought, and that was a great performance by him. That knockout victory, especially in his debut in the UFC, I'm pretty sure. So, first of all, to be debuting against one of the top light heavyweights in the world, that's something. And then to finish him in spectacular fashion like that, definitely needs to work on his defense and his fundamentals. But the dude's got power, and he can be a problem once he gets those things together. I watched the prelims and the early prelims since they were on ESPN. There were a few great performances. The first fight, Martin Day, Davey Grant, that knockout was vicious. And all in all, it wasn't the most spectacular card that we've seen in the past couple months, 2-3 months, something like that. But I'm glad I got to watch it. And then there's a card tomorrow, obviously, with Kattar versus Ige. I'm only interested in the 3 fights on the main card. Obviously, the main event, co-main, and then Cody Stamann, Jimmy Rivera. Those are the fights I'm interested in. So I'll probably I'm going to make breakdowns, at least for sure, on the main event. And that's all I got for this one. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the fight card below. If you liked this video, hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe. I got a lot of great content on this channel, and I got more coming. Predictions, obviously. And I got to hurry up with those. And until then, thank you. I hope you had a great time with the fights, and we'll see you in the next one.